Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Golden Jailene. Welcome back to my channel. So I apologize in advance if I look like a crazy person because I'm not wearing any makeup except for my eyebrows, and they're not even done. They're pretty sloppy. But I could not resist to film this video. Today's video is a review and wear test on the Fenty Beauty foundation. This foundation has 40 shades and it retails for $34. There is definitely a shade for everyone. Rihanna did a really good job with having multiple shades. I originally got the shade 270, and when I tried it on, it was way too light on my skin and it was very pink. So I decided to get a shade that's darker and a shade that's lighter and mix them. I typically tend to do that. I'm just extra like that. I like to do that so I can get the perfect shade. So the shades I have are 300 and 180. So the shade 180 is for light skin with warm undertones, and the shade 300 is for medium to tan skin with neutral undertones. I did hear that this foundation does oxidize, and when I tried the shade 300 in store, it looked perfect on my skin at first, but then I waited a few minutes to see if it oxidized, and it did. It did look a little bit too dark, so I mixed it with the shade 180, and it looked almost perfect when I first put it on, but then when it dried down, it looked really spot on. It has 1.08 fluid ounces. $34 is very affordable for a high-end foundation. This packaging is also beautiful. I really like the glass packaging, and it's also very simple. It's not too overdone, if you know what I mean. This does come with a pump, which is awesome. I love foundations that come with a pump. And this is supposed to be a soft, matte, long-wearing foundation, so we're going to test to see if it's actually long-wearing. I'm going to take 2 pumps of 300, 1, 2. And I'm going to do the same thing with the lighter shade. 1, 2. Alright, as you can see, this foundation is pretty liquidy. This is looking a little too light, so I'm going to put a little bit more of the 300 shade in here. This is going to be the sponge side, and I'm just going to take my Real Techniques complexion sponge and blend this in. For whatever reason, this is looking slightly lighter on camera, but it does match. I don't know why it's looking whiter, but this is how it looks on my skin with the sponge. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really digging how it looks with the sponge. It kind of looks a little streaky. I feel like I can see where the sponge stamped it. So now I'm just gonna take the product that's left on my hand, and I'm going to take a brush and apply this with a brush. Okay, I finished applying the foundation to both sides of my face, and I have to say, I think I like the brush side better than the sponge. I feel like when I used the sponge, wherever I stamped the sponge, it left little marks. But with the brush, that did not happen. I don't see any brush marks on my skin. I think it's starting to get a little darker now. At first it looked like white on my face, but now it's starting to look more like my skin. So I'm just going to finish up the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back. Really quickly, I wanted to try out this highlighter, Trophy Wife, and I'm just lightly going to dip into this. This is very pigmented and I have not used this yet. The only reason I know how pigmented it is because I swatched it in store. But here, woo! The camera is not doing this highlight justice. This looks beautiful, and I didn't think this would look good on my skin. Okay guys, so I finished doing my face makeup and it definitely dried down to match me. The finish is very matte. It is definitely accentuating some texture on my face. I mean, I don't have too much texture. I do love it so far though. It doesn't feel heavy on my face. It is currently 2:30. I will check back at the end of the night to tell you how this foundation wore. But so far so good guys, I'm loving it. I didn't think I'd like it this much. So I will see you later with an update. Hey guys, so it is the end of the night. It is 11:27. So I've had this makeup on for like 9 hours. I'm really sorry about the lighting. I don't have any natural lighting because it's dark. So this is what the highlighter looks like. I know the lighting sucks, but this is what my skin is looking like. I think the foundation held up really well. It definitely disappeared right here and right there, but I wear glasses, so that was really expected. Other than that, I think this foundation is outstanding. It stayed matte. It's not like oily or anything. I don't have oily or dry skin. I have normal skin. There are definitely some products that make me feel dry, and there are definitely some products that make me feel oily. This doesn't do either one. I feel like this stayed matte and it stayed in place. Also, another thing, my contour, blush, and highlights still look poppin'. Usually my blush is the first to disappear. I used a Becca blush. It's the blush in the Jaclyn Hill palette. I've worn that blush before, and sometimes at the end of the day it's completely worn off. And this, I mean, obviously with this lighting you can't tell that much, but it looks like I just applied it. It does not look any different. The highlighter stayed on really well. It just blows my mind because I had dance practice today and I was sweating so much. The room that we practice in is really small, and there's a bunch of people that try to squeeze in a small room. So I was sweating a lot. I was like worried, oh no, all this sweat is gonna make my makeup come off and it's gonna make all the blush and highlight come off. Surprisingly, it is all still intact. It all looks really good, and I'm so happy with this foundation. Also, with this lighting, you can see better that it does match me. It is definitely a very good shade for me. And once it's set and oxidized and everything, it looks perfect. I'm really happy with the 2 shades I got, and just really happy with this foundation, you guys. You gotta go out and get you this foundation. Like I said, I do have normal skin, so I don't know how this foundation is gonna work on oily or dry skin. I feel like people with dry skin could definitely get away with this foundation. And if some people are really dry, you feel like this is too drying for you, try wearing a hydrating primer or try wearing a hydrating setting spray. For oily skin, since this is a very matte foundation, I feel like people would love this foundation. Like I said, I was sweating a lot. None of the foundation, besides what is right here and right there, has rubbed off, and I already said that this rubbed off because I wear glasses and that's where my glasses sit. Okay guys, that is it for this review on the Fenty Beauty foundation. I love it. This gets an A++ in my book. I definitely think this product is worth it. That is it for this review. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.